What nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89 of Nerdigans, and today's Manga Nerdigan live reaction video is going to be for the Jujutsu Kaisen epilogue, aka Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 271.5. Now, before I get into this live reaction, we're at war with YouTube's algorithm, and it is slowly but surely killing my channel, and in order for us to defeat this algorithmic beast, we need you to please hit that like, share, and subscribe buttons. And because of course this channel, let alone this video, are not sponsored, if you love what we're doing and want to help keep me, my stubborn kitty over here, and this operation literally alive and kicking, so we can keep bringing you more anime and manga content, whether it be for news, analysis, or live reactions like this one, feel free to hit up our Cash App and PayPal. Links are in the description box below, as well as the link to our Patreon where we are doing our anime live reaction content, because unlike YouTube, where we constantly have to worry about getting a copyright strike for showing anything on the screen, well, Patreon, we don't have to worry about that. So we can have our full setup of the anime and manga side by side and have the audio to boot, which is not only great for busting a botch localization or two, but it's great for when we cover anime original content like, say, Dragon Ball Daima, or for Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, which we do have the 1st and 5th episodes available for free on Patreon. Hi, kitty. And the more views and subscribers we get on Patreon, the more anime we'll cover. And hell, if you are a $10 patron, you get to choose the series we cover as well. And there's a Stackball anime season coming to a close and more on the way, and that does include Jujutsu Kaisen. So please check out our Patreon. The link is in the description box below. So, in regards to Jump Festa, I did watch the Jujutsu Kaisen panel, and I said in my Jump Festa video that I wasn't sure we were going to get a trailer for the Colon game, especially based off of the program listing. And yeah, I was right. We did not get a trailer for Colon game. We got a really beautiful key visual, though. Oh my god, the key visual is stunning. We did get info on a compilation movie that's coming in Japan. Ow, kitty, that hurt. And there's the stage production as well. I really want to see that stage production. The stage productions over in Japan are freaking sick from what we've seen. But other than that, there really isn't that much from the Jujutsu Kaisen panel, especially compared to some of the other panels that we're going to do videos on for the channel, and also write articles about for Bounding. But in terms of this epilogue, I'm going to just get into this, and I'm going to, after, of course, I'm done, reading the epilogues, and also the letter from Gege, because this is all in the final volume, I'll give my thoughts on everything, and similar to Oshinoko, I will determine if, one, this just should have been in the manga in general, and two, if, in the case of Jujutsu Kaisen, if it is still the worst ending of 2024, because right now, it is. It is really, really goddamn bad. You could tell me till the cows come home that Oshinoko is the worst ending. Now, there's quite a few endings that are worse than Oshinoko, and I will make a video on that. I will try and get that done this week. I'm gonna try and get it done this week. I don't think there's any other series that are ending before the end of the year, so I think I could get it done this week. But anyways, let's get to this epilogue and see if my mind gets changed here. So the first one is for Ozawa Yuko. Here we go. I like snow. Compared to when you're young, fireworks in the sea become less and less special, but snow still has a special meaning, a special feeling. Me too. Here we go. And this is, Yuko is thinking this. Even though I've come back home, surprisingly, I haven't met up with anyone I know from school. Well, even if we meet, they don't know it's me. Through both elementary and middle school, there are probably about 200 people whose faces I can recognize. Maybe. Even so, everyone I pass by here are people I don't know. To unexpectedly meet the one person I want to. Oh, it's Ozawa. Yeah. Idori-kun? You came home? Well, when I left for Tokyo, Gramps' home was just left as as is, so along with some other stuff, I took care of it. Oh, what a coincidence. This poor Yugo. My grandma's going to move into an old people home, so I also came back to clean up the house. Phew, what troubles we have despite being young. Itadori-kun, were you all right being in Tokyo? Well, I already knew you were fine from Nobara-san. I'm going to say this right now. This is why you're probably not going to change my mind about the ending being like the worst of 2024 and probably one of the worst of all time because of Nobara. She should have not come back to life. She should have stayed fucking dead, or if anything, been back for like a brief moment and then just went back to being dead. I'm still furious about this. I am. And like the last time I was that furious about like a character just randomly coming back to life like that is with Hina in Domestic Nana Kanojo. Oh my god, that shit pissed me off so much. How she miraculously came out of that vegetative state was like just a huge what the fuck. Oh my god, if you're a Hina fan, if you were Team Hina in Domestic Nakanojo, you should be even more mad because it's like, what the hell? Just what the fuck? This is just wild. But anyways, yep. I was in Shibuya, but I came out fine. That's not what I was asking. Are those facial scars from that? Well, you were smack dab in the center of an explosion. What about Ozawa? I was over in Machida. Cheetah, the city of mystery sure is amazing. Kidding. I heard from Kurosaki, so I already knew that you were fine, Ozawa. Tension? Oh, the rising arrow. Tension? No, calm down. That doesn't mean Itadori-kun was the one who asked. Oh, it's snowing. Do you still like snow? Yeah. Mysteriously, it is still special. I like, oh god, because I remember it was during and I still say that Itadori was patronizing Sakura in that moment when they were walking around. God, that pissed me off too. And Sakura, I'm sorry, you deserve. No, I'm not sorry, Sakura, you deserve better than the fuckery that happened. Oh my god, that just. Anyways, I like snow too. How bright it is, especially when it piles up. Yeah, it makes you want to make a snowman because it is similar to the person I like so much. Huh? What? Right now, Itadori, he's on the precipice of becoming an adult. I think. Oh, translation out here. The raw phrasing is he's standing in front of an adult staircase. It's a bit awkward in English, so I tweaked it. So yeah, that's very, very understandable. It's like what? Well, us children would never have talks about succeeding the family. Yeah. And fuck you, Nobara. You still should be dead. I don't care. Your ass should have been dead. God, I really want to punch her in the face. I can't fucking stand her. Ugh. I'm gonna try and not say it throughout this entire thing, but bitch, you ruined this ending. You stole the moment from Maki. You stole it from Maki, and I'm so mad that Maki was robbed because of her. Ugh. And also, the other thing too is that her death back in the Shibuya arc was fine. It was perfect. There was no reason for this, for her to come back. And that's why I said, and I said it back then too, I said this was editorial interference at its finest. There was no question it was editorial interference, at least for me. And we kind of had a similar situation in Mission Yozakura family with Tayo and Kyotaro. And based on like the most recent chapter of Mission Yozakura family, it really seemed like, I'm spoiling it, you have to deal with it. It seemed like Hitsuji wanted to kill one of the two off, and it seemed like originally it was definitely going to be Tayo, you could tell. but then he was going to compensate it by having Kyotaro die instead and have like this really powerful moment. But yeah, editorial was probably, it really seems like editorial was like, no, you're not doing that. Bastards. It's a panda, so cute. You can't touch these. These are Grandpa's treasures. Panda? What? Aw, it's pretty cute for a treasure. It's supposed to be a special curse corpse. A curse corpse? I don't want it after all. It's dirty. Hey, you idiot. Ooh, so this is Panda's epilogue, I guess, because there's supposed to be a panda epilogue. This kid has a bad personality. Are you really Yuta's grandkid? That's Yuta's grandkid? That's a Kotsu's grandkid? Okay. Abrupt mutation curse corpse panda. After the sorcery terrorism of November 2018, its mutual observation type independent control lost function. It stopped activity in October 2035 after being registered into the Gojo family storage. Its owner was passed to Kotsu Yuta, the clan I represented. This is one thing I am so happy about, and I was hoping this was going to be the case, was that Akotsu was going to become part of the Gojo family, and he was going to be like the clan head. I'm so happy about that, because it was kind of, it was hinted at that, Akotsu was going to take over for Gojo, that he was the next Gojo. And to see this here really makes me happy. I'm very pleased with that. You're so loud. Even now in 2080, it still moves. It still sometimes move. Don't shout into my ears. So even in 2080, damn. So, all right. So now we're at Kugisaki Nobara. Her epilogue. Oh god, I got a feeling I'm gonna hate this. Here we go. Yo. Oh, and there's Mamura. What? Mamura-chan? So what is it? You came to see mommy? Of course not, you idiot. It's just bad luck if I ignore a person's last words. She's talking about Gojo. I see. You're having fun. Yeah, this pisses me off. I have no interest in not knowing how to do something I don't know. So Nobara-chan went and became a sorcerer, huh? I had no talent for it, so Grandma always played around with just you, Nobara-chan. Stop talking like that. How old do you think we both are? What you lacked was not sorcerer talent, but appearance. Whether you were there or not, I would have become a sorcerer. If you had never had me, you wouldn't have been able to quit being a sorcerer. Pathetic. Are you scared of that old hag? Is that all you have to say? Nobara, you wanted me to acknowledge you, didn't you? Dude, her mom's outfit is just hideous. I hate the sweater. I'm sorry. I know you want me to say I'm sorry for back then. You've grown up so well. You're amazing. You probably wanted to better the memories of your terrible mother even just a bit. Too bad. I've not changed one bit. What the fuck was the point of this? Seducing the rich, getting drunk, running through young men? I am having so much fun. I feel like my life is the absolute best. Having your parents live at the core of your identity is pretty pitiful. What? Oh my god, what was the point of this? Why? Why is this here? Why? Amazing. That was such a light lecture. It has to have come from a planet with different gravity. What? From the bottom of my heart, I really do not care about you. I don't care about you either. I'm just representing the dead, and I came because I thought I would see something really, really funny. What are you saying, right, Granny? Ooh, mother, take your time. Okay, now this is funny. Now I see what you're doing here. Gege, this should have been before Nobara died. Why is this here? This should have been way before. You should have had this like as an extra chapter or something before Nobara died. Okay, so now we're at Rame's epilogue story. This is and it's I think their backstory was Sakana. from what I've heard. I don't know. It's always like this. When I wake up, everyone around me is cold. Father and mother both died like this because of me. Come with me, child. Yesterday, I accidentally crushed my ice house. Okay, the refrigerator. Watch over this so that the meat doesn't rot. Everything becomes cold, right? Do it. It's not like this. It's not like that. You're hungry. Are you an idiot? You have meat in front of you. Just eat as you please. So that's okay. Tastes good. I cooled the raw meat at a low temperature and dried it out, blowing wind at it. Who taught you this? No one really. I was bored, so... Can you butcher humans? Rami's like, what the fuck? What? It depends on the person, but, well, it's kind of a delicacy. Why is that even though Sakana-sama is near me, you do not get cold? That goes for you as well, Arame. Why did you not get cold being by my side? Okay. Before I get into this letter, I'm gonna say this. This here should have been in the manga. It should have been. You could have had this right before, because remember we saw Sakana walk into like the underworld with Rame. You could have had this there, and this would have been perfect. The Novara content. Why is this an epilogue chapter? This should not be here. This should have been, as I said, this should have been way before she died. That's where it should have been. It should have not been here. I'm not sorry for that. The Akotsu content, that I'm okay with. This Akotsu's and as sad as Panda stuff is, Akotsu's content, I'm fine with. Itadori's content, I feel like you could have done something different there, but the one person that I really would have liked to seen an epilogue for is, as I said, she got fucking robbed, is Maki. Maki deserved an epilogue. I'm not even a Maki fan, and I think, and I said in my Jujutsu Kaisen live reactions, that Maki got fucking robbed, and if any character deserved an epilogue, it was her. You could have had something really powerful with her and Megumi, like going and I said this in Boku no Hero Academia with what I would have loved to seen Horikoshi do with the epilogue with like all the heroes like at the the graveyard and seeing some of them get some closure. I would have loved to seen that here with Megumi and Maki going to like the Zenin household and get their closure together. Like, give us that, or like have everyone go to like have like the sorcerers get together and go to like bury Gojo and go to Gojo's grave and just get that closure. Like, just something. You could have done something really cool with this epilogue, and I would have been okay. I totally understand. But as of right now, I will still say that with everything, that even with this epilogue that we have here, that this is still the worst ending of 2024 and one of the worst endings of all time. Even with epilogue, I still say Domestic Nakanojo is the worst ending of all time. That at least I've covered on this channel. Oh my god, that ending is so bad. And the epilogue chapters, that epilogue shit made it like so, it's just, oh my god, it pissed me off even more. Okay, so now let's get to this here, this afterword. It says, the product Jujutsu Kaisen was pissed out for 6.5 years, nearly 7 years, if you include the serialization of the special issues. And what I learned was I'm really an idiot. And what is this here in the translation note? Because I was like, pissed. It says, yeah, he really does say pissed out. Is what you say, the Japanese that's in the afterword is what you say for taking a piss wherever you want, or for dirty water to leak out, or something wrong, dirty, bad to be released unfiltered. Which, okay, I was of course pushing myself to the limits to pull out everything I could from my creations, and after about 3 years of serialization, my already rough personality began to become absent-minded. even though I was complaining that I'm fed up with having things pointed out to me that could be figured out by looking it up on the internet, I still made the mistake on volume 18 with the sandpin and ended up thinking like Gecko Moria that, well, if something happens, the people around me will figure it out. And I've also been writing the openings for 6.5 to 7 years through instinct. And I think, and this is what the translation note said. I think the Japanese he was is writing the openings, but Google also showed the translator that some technobabble about dialogue and page resolution and all this manga shit I do not understand. And it could just be for the initial drafts. I think that's probably what it is. Um, I feel like that's what it is when he's talking when in terms of writing the openings, I think that that's probably what it is. It's talking about dialogue and page resolution and also like the initial drafts. I think that's probably what he's talking about. But this means what this means is that the adults around me were just reliable. I have really great I have I have really greatly troubled all of my editors, Kariyama-san, Ikeda-san, and Fukuda-san, the volume manager, Yanagita-san, the designer, Ishino-san, and my assistants. Speaking of trouble, I believe I put quite a bit of stress every week on the editorial department and everyone at the printers. I really apologize greatly for that. Jujutsu began running with my first editor, Yamanaka-san, and we immediately entered an underground forced labor arc. Wait. I'm going to read the rest of this and then I'm going to give my thoughts on that forced labor portion. But he periodically communicated with me. Thank you, and I'm grateful for meeting you. Okay, so it's abbreviations for what he says in the brackets. It's a made up word, so I made up. So it says "Thang Ryu" is what it says, but the translator made up their own abbreviation for the translated sentence in the brackets. That thank you, and GR from grateful, and you from you. The reason I did not talk much in between the volumes was because I had become absent-minded. But what this makes me think of when he said the labor. Before I forget, what he said when he said about the underground forced labor arc, it just makes me think of Me and Roboco. Because if you read Me and Roboco, there are chapters where you see that there are these labor mines that are in the basements under Shueisha. And I'm like, yes, Miyazaki, you were right about them. I knew you were right. And I hope people will start reading Me and Roboco because of that. But anyways, the reason I did not talk much in between the volumes was because I had become absent-minded. When first becoming serialized, I took into consideration that Jujutsu Kaisen was being serialized in a major magazine. I had this feeling of trying to do my best to alleviate those would read Jujutsu Kaisen and feel hurt, and those who would be hurt by those who read Jujutsu Kaisen. The result of that was me telling myself, shut up, I get it. You know, Akutani just want to be seen as a good person, and hurting myself, so I stopped trying that, which, yeah, I could see that. I see the period where he's like that. And you know where I think that was kind of reflected, if you think about it, I wonder if this is the case, is in the Shibuya arc, during the and it's one of my favorite fights is the Mahito versus Itadori fight, because there's this moment in the fight where you have Mahito say to Itadori something along the lines of that why are you you're not here to be a hero and all this shit, something like that. And it's just like, yeah, I could see, you know, Gege kind of getting inspired by like him being Itadori and fighting his inner demons, and how you can make the argument that he does a little bit of self inserts with his character with some of the story arcs too. But yeah, anyways, to begin with, that very idea was prideful, and I understand now, and see what I mean with the Itadori and Mahito stuff, and I understand now that it was due to me lacking the conviction to put my creative work out into the world. this is embarrassing, but even now I do not fully have that conviction. When considering evil intent that doesn't exist, I still want to shout out loudly, but the root of it is my immaturity as a mangaka, so I hold it in, or rather I continue on in a condition where all I can do is swallow it down, which is not healthy. No. No. And I feel like he kind of shows it through Itadori in particular. And in a way, I kind of feel like it's you know how he kind of shows it in his writing. It's through Megumi and it's through Itadori specifically those two. And when you see Megumi break when his sister is killed, that really is when you're like, okay, yeah, I see. It's kind of like, yeah, when you see Gege saying this, it's like, oh my god, this must have been the moment where Gege was like broken, because he kept everything. He's saying he's kept everything inside of himself, and that's not good. No. The good thing about Shonen Jump is that the brand image is built around not the creator but the created work, and so by trusting myself to make it so that the readers can read my manga without worry, I will take the lessons of these 7 years to heart, and I want to overcome my problems after this. I have books packed that I bought during serialization, some for study, some just to have around because they might make me feel smarter. Yeah, they might make me smarter. In truth, I do feel that they made me smarter just by having them around, even if I didn't read them. It's scary. I feel like by having those books around, he could see those volumes of Jujutsu Kaisen that he looks at are kind of like a diary. Think of it this way. If you're an artist, you probably understand it. They are a because as I mentioned with the Mahito and Itadori fight, for example, it's kind of like it's him fighting his inner demon. These are a reflection of his state of mind. He's depicting like what he's feeling inside, and that's I feel like that's what it is for Jujutsu Kaisen, and there's other books too that I can't wait to see what other books that he bought. If he reveals them at some point. But yeah, in terms of just in general, I totally get it, because I mean, I cover manga, and the reason why I do cover manga like the way I do is because it's my therapy. It because I connect with it, I resonate with it, and I'm allowed to like talk about it without. I know how weird it is, but I don't feel judged. It's weird, but that's how it is. This is the end of Jujutsu Kaisen that I have drawn. To everyone who supported me, to the people who read all at once when it became topical, to those who read it wanting to see what came after the anime, to the person who just happened to read this final volume, any reason is fine. I truly thank you. Until we meet again. Okay, so knowing what's going on here with Gege, I feel like I think based on what Gege is saying, it seems like it seems like he lost his spark, and two, or along the way he lost his spark, and two, I don't know. I really does seem to me that my gut instinct about there being editorial interference involved here was right. I really do feel like that, because Gege felt so checked out that like there was a lot more editorial input, and it really kind of fucked up. Either that, or like at one point the editorial interference was just too much and he was just done and he just wanted to end it. But it's just so interesting. And I talked about this before. I don't remember where, but I talked about this before. But like, there was a huge change when the Weekly Shonen Jump editor in chief changed. with Gege. Like, something happened when the editor-in-chief changed. The moment that happened, that's when you really noticed a change. And Gege was just done. He just didn't want to do it anymore. I don't know what is Gege. I don't know what the hell happened behind the scenes for sure. But based on what you're saying here, it just feels like at some point, it feels like there was a lot. It really does feel like there was a lot of editorial interference. And at certain points in the manga, you could definitely tell there was. But like when you could tell when Gege was having the most fun with Jujutsu Kaisen was with like the Gojo content, with the Takaba fight. Oh, the Takaba fight was so good. That's forever going to be one of my favorite fights in Jujutsu Kaisen. When we had the as I've been saying, the Mojito versus Itadori fight in the Shibuya. In Shibuya, that fight just, especially after reading this, that fight just like is even more powerful. It really is. And now I'm thinking about even more, like the whole thing between Itadori and Sakuna when, like they're walking around and, and when I said Itadori was being very patronizing to Sakuna, I feel like that was Itadori kind of maybe represented the editorial department. And Sakuna like represented represented Gege, and like the editorial department was kind of being patronizing towards him. I feel like I know I could be overthinking it, but that's based on what this letter is saying. That's what it feels like to me. And another example of where there was a lot of editorial interference in terms of serialization was My Hero Academia. Even Horikoshi admitted in some of the volume notes that there was a lot of editorial interference. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I could see where there was I could see the editorial interference, like where it happened. It was definitely at the end where it definitely happened. Gege, I am sorry this happened to you. I am. I swear, the next series you do, just go to Young Jump. Or Jump Plus, because it really seems like what Gege wanted to do was to really tap into that darkness a little bit more. And for some reason, Shueisha or Weekly Shonen Jump is like, no. I don't know why. It's weird. And yeah, I think I'm telling you, that same thing happened with, I mentioned Mission Yozakura Family earlier. Same thing happened with Mission Yozakura Family. That new editor, I'm telling you, that new editor-in-chief, he's really fucking shit up right now. I'm not happy with that. But even with this context, as I said, this context kind of makes me feel like this letter actually kind of makes me feel a little bit more vindicated on how this is probably editorial interference, and that this is probably, again, maybe I might be coping, but it really, because you don't see Gege, something you notice in this note is Gege doesn't say this is the ending that I envisioned. No, because with the Oshinoko, for example, Aka said this was the ending I envisioned and stood by it, and said that was the ending they envisioned from the beginning. Gege, you don't have that here. You notice that? That's why I'm like, yeah, there was definitely this, like, just seeing that really, really confirms for me that there was editorial interference. And I'm very curious if you guys see the editorial interference that I do. But unfortunately, and especially because there is no sequel for Jujutsu Kaisen, yeah, this definitely will be the worst ending of 2024 for me. And those that say Oshinoko is, you guys are fucking delusional, and you guys have not read Noragami, and also your media literacy is complete shit. Because Oshinoko's ending is especially since mofos are saying, oh, it's because Aqua died. Motherfucker, Aqua was, it was set from the very beginning that Aqua was going to die. So you're fucking delusional if you think Aqua dying is the reason why Oshinoko's ending is shit. I'm not sorry for saying it. It's something that's been pissing me off. Oh god, it's been pissing me off. But yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen for me is the worst ending of this year. I will have a video talking about the rest of the endings that I think are bad. I might have a video about, like, because there were some really good endings this year. There was because I was going through some of, you know, the other series that ended, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that we actually had a lot of good endings this year. I thought it was only Hoseki no Kuni, but no, we actually had a lot more. We had a lot of good better endings than I remember. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that? What do you guys think of this epilogue? What do you guys think that this letter kind of solidifies that there was editorial interference, like I do? And if so, are you like me, where it's kind of like, yeah, I feel vindicated. I feel extremely vindicated. Let me know your thoughts, and remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Nerdy Can Sing. Love what we're doing and want to help keep this operation alive and kicking so we can keep bringing you more manga content. A few ways you could do that: donate to our Cash App, PayPal, Patreon, purchase something off our Amazon wishlist, all that's in the description box below. Also, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, friend us on PlayStation Network. That's in the description box below as well. Till next time, Nerdigans, I will be seeing you later.